My fellow Americans, I'm the highest authority in the United States. I'm we the people. My name's John Best, Jr. of Derry, New Hampshire, and this video is for Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, who asked for people to report on fraud. So here goes. We can start the report on fraud by Mr. Bessent admitting to the country that he is a corporate stooge rather than one of our government servants. The thing pretending to be our government is a corporation, which took our freedom away from us. That was done by the enemy attorneys who infest this corporation pretending to be the government, like the cockroaches that they are. We banned attorneys from our government with the original 13th Amendment. That also stripped these vile, low-life critters of their citizenship. So no attorney is a citizen of the United States. To begin with, we banned the practice of law by attorneys in the Declaration of Independence. That was covered in the last paragraph when it declared that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown. Now, the people who wrote the Declaration of Independence didn't bother to add on to that phrase to tell the world that the British Crown is the secret society that controls the bar, the British Accreditation Registry, which controls the actions of every attorney on earth. Attorneys exist as enemies of humanity to control humanity and prevent freedom. That's why we ban them from our government, and that's why we ban them from practicing their deranged version of law in our country. The Declaration of Independence replaced law with freedom. The Declaration of Independence is a rule of freedom. We do not have any, quote, rule of law, unquote, as is told to us by all of the corporate stooges pretending to be part of our government. There is no government in the United States, and there hasn't been for at least 150 years, and probably much longer than that. So, Scott Bessent, I don't want any reward for you giving this information and more out to the public, because you can't put a price on freedom. I just want the freedom back, as does everyone else in the United States, even though most of the brainwashed Walking Dead morons who vote for our enemies named Democrat, Republican, and Esquire don't know that they lost their freedom. I know it, so I'm reporting it to you. Just do it. Keep your reward. Now let's get to the thing that you do give out rewards for, which is reporting financial fraud. The worst financial fraud was perpetrated by George Washington in 1791 when he allowed Maya Rothschild to set up the first bank of the United States, to rob everyone in the United States by charging us interest on our own money. Now, in 1811, Madison refused to renew the charter on that bank. So Rothschild declared war on the United States. I don't know if it was Maya Rothschild, the father, who had the 5 sons, or it might have been Nathaniel Rothschild, who was one of his sons. And those guys burned down the White House during that War of 1812. And then Madison decided to become a traitor in 1816 by signing into law the second Bank of the United States, owned by the Rothschild family. As you may know, Jackson got rid of that bank 20 years later in 1836. And then the banksters, Rothschilds, whatever you want to call them, Rothschilds and pals, took other actions to gain control of our country by using their attorneys to subvert our freedom and all other laws, like the 14th Amendment, which refers to us as, quote, citizens, unquote, when what we are, we the people, is, quote, owners, unquote. We the people are the owners of the United States. We the people. There are 300 million other people who are owners of the United States, but most of them don't know it. They think the government is the authority, when we the people are the authorities. Excuse me. Now let's get back to banking. As you probably know, in 1913, a bunch of enemies of we the people created the Federal Reserve to rob everyone in the United States. And that's why they put Jackson on the $20 bill, to laugh at him, long after he was dead. They put his image there to laugh at him after he abolished the bank, and they had it back, so they could start robbing us all over again. Woodrow Wilson let this go. And everyone since Woodrow Wilson, with the exception of JFK, allowed the Federal Reserve to continue robbing everyone in the United States. Right now, the national debt, which is actually a robbery, stands at, according to the media, around $39 trillion. So my 10 to 30% share of that would be, somewhere between 3.9 and 10 or 11 trillion. Well, I don't want that much. I'll just take 1 trillion. If you go out and resolve this fraud that I'm telling you about, you only have to give me 1 trillion. I'll take a discount. There is no $39 trillion debt, Mr. Bessent. We're being robbed by every bribed, lying scumbag in Congress who allows the Federal Reserve to exist, and by the owners of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, as you know, is not owned by the United States. It's a private company owned 57% by the Rothschild family, and the rest is owned by their bankster pals. You know this. If you don't believe me, then you can go read Secrets of the Federal Reserve by Eustace Mons. You can also read The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. You can read The History of the Rothschild Family. I don't know who authored that. You can read The Synagogue of Satan by Andrew Carrington Hitchcock, I believe is the author's name. You can watch the documentary by Bill Still called The Money Masters, which is 3.5 hours long, and it describes all of the fraud by the Federal Reserve and associated banksters who robbed the whole world. Another source for you is the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, which CIA-controlled Wikipedia tells you is an anti-Semitic hoax and doesn't want to tell you to read the document. Well, in items 4 and 5 on page 1 of that document, it tells you what attorneys are. Go look it up. Find out what attorneys are. On page 20, in item 27 on page 1, it tells you who wrote it. Look it up, figure it out. And then in chapters 20 and 22, It gives you the financial plan for the Federal Reserve and all other financial acts to rob everyone on earth and enslave us to Satan's banksters and Satan's attorneys. Now there you have it. That's the fraud that's been ongoing since 1913 in the United States. $39 trillion robbery, which can be ended like that just by abolishing the Federal Reserve. Of course, Congress can do that. But Congress is 100% corrupt, except for Thomas Massey and the 10 co-sponsors who sponsored a bill last year, I believe it was last March of 2025, to abolish the Federal Reserve. I don't think anything else happened with that House resolution. Sat there, and I don't believe anything was done with it. Well, you should look into that. Trump should look into that. But of course, what we know about Trump is that Trump is an actor that was hired by the banksters to abet the Federal Reserve, to abet the Federal Reserve's attorneys, and to keep Americans enslaved to the banksters and their scumbag, lying, low-life, vile attorneys. Look this up. Stop the fraud, Mr. Bessent. You made your statement that you want to stop the fraud. So do it. Everyone else watching this video should send it to treasury.gov, where you can find the links to submit a tip to their whistleblower program. I hope 300 million Americans see this short video and send it to you, Mr. Bessent. I know you won't take any action because you're a corporate stooge lying to everyone in America by pretending to be one of our government servants. You should admit to that fraud, Mr. Bessent. Trump should admit to that fraud. Everyone that holds elected office in the United States should admit to that fraud. Every judge in the United States should admit to that fraud. What are you going to do, Mr. Bessent? Are you going to be honest? Or are you going to be a lying corporate scumbag for your whole life? Live your life as a corporate scumbag and sell out everyone in the United States by keeping our freedom going, by allowing the Federal Reserve to continue robbing us, and by allowing attorneys to subvert our freedom with their bogus laws. What are you saying, Mr. Bessent? Will you answer me? I doubt it. I think you just delete this after I send it to you. That's why I ask everyone else, go to treasury.gov, copy the link for this video, find submit a tip, and send them this video 300 million times. See if the bribe-lying cocksuckers will do anything about it. They'll probably censor me. They'll probably have it deleted from YouTube and BitChute. That's what I think you'll do, Mr. Bessent. Because you're a useless fucking scumbag like everyone else in the government. Prove me wrong. Go ahead, prove me wrong, and I'll apologize for calling you a useless fucking scumbag. Or whatever I said. I forget. Thanks for watching. Please submit the tip. Copy the video, submit it to treasury.gov. Tell Mr. Bessent to end all of the fraud. Thanks for watching.